Hello everyone. Now today's topic is a relatively higher topic, and that is in fact a topic which would be adding on to your NT-NB scan. Now whenever we are doing the NT-NB scan, that is usually done between the 11 to 14 weeks or 11 weeks to 13 weeks, 6 days, we can say to be more precise. Then we have been measuring nasal bone, knuckle translucency. Then we added ICT onto it. Then tricuspid regurgitation. Then ductus venosus flow. So every other day, new things are coming up, and those are being added to the NT-NB or the 11 to 14 weeks scan. This is another thing which we can add on to this scan, and that is the crown chin length to crown rump length ratio. It can be used like an early screening tool for the chromosomal abnormalities and for skeletal dysplasias and anencephaly also you can judge in early stages. So this study basically was done by Yingsi Li and Hangzhou, and they had measured this crown chin length and the crown rump length in all these fetuses between 11 to 14, and then they came up with this ratio, and they told the significance also. Now, how do we measure and what is this ratio? Now, we all know the word crown chin length. Crown chin length would mean that from the head to the chin. So, which points do we take for crown chin length? We will start from the highest point on the head and will go to the anterior most point of the chin. Right, now the view that we have to use, the view obviously is the same that we use for the nasal bone knuckle translucency, the NB-NT plane, the mid-sagittal plane. The same things have to be kept in mind, that the position of the fetus should be neutral. And then since here we are concerned with the whole CRL, so we should be careful that the end of the hip is seen. No? Till the hip we are seeing the whole fetus on our screen. And then crown rump length, obviously we all know how to measure, so I don't need to tell you. As usual measurement, it is done. Now for the crown chin length, what you have to do is you have to start again from the same point where you started the crown rump length, the highest point on the head, and then go to the anterior most point of the chin. Now sometimes you may be confused that this is anterior or this is the anterior most. Just remember, if you are taking the two measurements, like if I measure from here to here also, take the shorter of the two measurements. Take the shorter of the two measurements, and that would give you the crown chin length. Now obviously most of the machines would not be telling you the ratio, so you will have to calculate the ratio manually. And you can calculate the ratio after taking the two measurements manually. You can calculate, and roughly it has been seen by them that the crown chin length increases with gestational age, and it ranges around 20 millimeter at CRL 45, which means somewhere around 11 weeks or so, and 36 to 36 millimeter at CRL 84, which means somewhere around 13 weeks, 6 days, or 14 weeks, you can say, right? And the ratio, what they measured, was seen that the crown chin length to crown rump length ratio decreases with gestational age from a mean of 0.46 at CRL 45 millimeter to 0.41 at CRL 84 millimeter. So this was a generalized observation that the ratio of the crown chin length to crown rump length will go on decreasing with gestational age between 11 to 14 weeks, somewhere starting from 0.4546, and then at the end towards the final 13 or 14 weeks, it would be around 0.41. And this is the final study that told 11 to 13 weeks, 6 days, the normal ratios were seen, and they took a range. So between the range of CRL 45 to 55 millimeter, the ratios were seen somewhere around 0.45. Between 56 to 65, they were again around somewhere 0.45. This was slightly little more. And then between 66 to 75, 0.43, and 76 to 84, 0.41. So roughly you can say that till 45 to 65, it was almost 4.45, and then after that it came to 0.43 and 0.41. So we can make out that it is decreasing as the CRL is increasing. And this is the normal situation. Now what is the abnormal situation? Abnormal situation is if it is reduced, like if I find that the ratio at between the CRL of 56 to 65 is coming around 0.40 or 0.42 or 0.4 or 0.39, then that would tell me that the ratio is less than what we are expecting. So this could be a case of anencephaly. It is increased in case of triploides and skeletal dysplasias. You see the mean that is to be there at that gestational age. So the crown chin length to crown rump length ratio in normal situation, yes, decreases with gestational age from a mean of 0.46 to 0.41 at CRL 84, 0.46 at CRL 45 millimeter. And the ratio between the two goes on decreasing. If the ratio is less than the normal, the ratio is less than what you expect at that gestational age, then it may be indicative of anencephaly, and if it is increased, then you may think of triploides and skeletal dysplasias. Now, the problems or the limitations that you may face, just like for NT-NB scan, we say that the fetus should be in a proper position. So if you have taken the measurements in extreme flexion or extreme extension, that may create a problem for you. Then you may get abnormal readings, false readings. And then if there is a structural anomaly of the head or face, like if there is micrognathia, you will not be able to get a proper view of the chin, so the measurement will be poor. If there is a cleft lip or a cleft palate, then these abnormalities may affect your measurement of the crown chin length, and as a result, the results may come out to be unnecessarily falsely abnormal. Still, you can use it as an effective screening tool in the first trimester. Right? So it is a point that you can just add on to your NT-NB scan. So that's all. Thank you.